So I think if you're listening to this and you're like, well, great, what does this mean for me? I think the question for you is, how do I grow confidence? The answer is, what can you do confidently? Do that in a new context and see where it takes you. For
Yes.
example, I've mentioned my the person who does the handwriting. She does calligraphy. The reason that she's good at calligraphy is because she knew she could hold a pen. Let's see if I can hold a pen and make my hand do something while I'm holding the pen. And then it just kept on growing. Like, let me see if I can do this particular style and these lines and these curves. And it's stepping one step past the edge of your confidence
Yep.
gives you the capacity to get better.
Past the edge of your comfort zone. And I guess the threat is that you're going to suck, and you're going to threaten the confidence that you stepped off from. And
Mm-hmm.
the truth is, you might.
Yeah.
You
And
might.
I, as as the weirdo that I am, give me the truth. If I can get into a situation where the truth puts me back in my place, great. Then that means I can move beyond that and make something more of what it actually is. But the truth is the solid foundation. Give me that solid foundation. We can build something with that.
And it doesn't challenge your confidence in your other thing. You stepped out of your comfort zone and found out that you stepped on a nail, and you're never going to step out of your comfort zone again. It doesn't mean that your confidence where you were is any weaker. It just means you stepped in the wrong place once you stepped out, and you can try again.
Yeah. I mean, like, even talking about Pete, like, I don't want to be a couples counselor. Does
Yeah.
that mean that Pete is not a good individual therapist? Absolutely not. Pete is now confident he does not want to be a couples counselor.
Or I stepped out of it a couple times, and I know that I have to get better before I step out of it again.
Yeah. Or, yeah. Yeah. There's choice, right? Confidence
Yes.
is choice, and growing confidence is intentionality.
And people with overconfidence may rob themselves of choices because then they think that they're awesome, so do they have to do it? Maybe not. Maybe they feel like they still have a choice when you're overconfident. I'm awesome, but I just don't want to.
Yeah. I feel like somebody who doesn't know therapists is like, this is how therapists think. Yes, this is how we think about everything.
Yeah, it's like the strings investigative board, like the strings connected to everything on the board,
Pepe
and you're
Sylvia,
like,
Pepe Sylvia.
it's all connected.
Yes, part of being a good therapist is being able to question everything and not like throw everything out just as it's being questioned, but certainly your capacity to pull apart the veracity of a statement and try and see where its edges are is so crucial. And
Yeah.
I think makes life better in general. Like, I really enjoy my life in that I do this with everything. I don't like pull it apart necessarily, but like I question stuff. And I think that in doing so, I now know pretty clearly where some lines are. And I know what lines I'm willing to push against and what lines I'm not willing to push against. And that kind of clarity, it's interesting because Pete alludes to the idea that that my taste for questioning makes for a lack of stability in attitudes and opinions. And I don't think he's saying I'm an unstable person, just so we're clear. But
Mentally. Yeah.
I do think though that there's an assumption or an assertion that, in doing so, I lose my capacity to know where I am and to stay grounded. And I say the counter to that is that the more I question, the more confident I am with where the ground is because I'm questioning it as I'm looking at it. And go, okay, I now know this is solid. I'm going to stand right here. That thing, I don't know if it's solid. I'm going to question it. And now that I know it's solid or not, I can act accordingly. That to me is what questioning is.
And you must have been an insufferable teenager. My teenager does that already.
I probably was. When I was a
Oh,
teenager,
man.
I made the mistake of being overly confident. I was like, "Oh, I know."
Really?
Because I've questioned, I have truth, and now I'm questioning because I don't know all the truth.
But in any case, when you do therapy, and I end up doing this a lot more in therapy than I do in my own personal life, you're exploring and finding the edges of people's thoughts when they're saying, "Well, I'm trying to be confident," and you're like, "Well, what does that mean?" Well, I try to think well of myself. Is that confidence when you think well of yourself? And so you start to investigate and explain all that stuff, and that gets really fun. I initially thought that we are going to compare confidence to delusion a lot more in this episode, but it turns out we talk more about confidence versus overconfidence. In this, it's a fine line, and I've come away thinking that it is contextual and also personal, based on the individual, and also based how you see yourself surrounded by other things. And how to build confidence is you start from your comfort zone and step out of it, and maybe suck or maybe not. You don't
Own the
know.
suck, dude. Embrace it.
Embrace the suck, but you just
Practice being
might
bad at
not
stuff.
suck.
Yeah. Or you might suck, but find you enjoy sucking, and then eventually you stop sucking.
And then you have to find something else to suck at.
Yeah, it's true.